Toy Story Mania was probably the easiest full completion I have ever done, and I am not ashamed of that. Welcome back to Socks and Sandals, and welcome back to another episode in the Disney-Pixar Games Challenge. Today we are doing Toy Story Mania. This was ranked, I believe, a 2 out of 10 on Xbox360achievements.org. And all in all, it took me probably about 3 hours to get all of the achievements. I, of course, had to play it over several days because I have a job, like a average member of society. But, yeah, this is the third to last game in the Disney-Pixar Games Challenge. So, we're on the podium here. We're nearing the finish. Let's just get into it. So, for those who don't know, Toy Story Mania is a shooting gallery set of mini games. Like the fair booths, you have to knock stuff off of a wall. There are moving targets, break plates. There's the skee ball thing. It's just a series of mini games. It's a party game. The game itself is actually pretty cool, and I believe, I haven't researched any information on this, but I think it's the actual voice actors for Toy Story. I think Tim Allen does Buzz Lightyear, and I think Tom Hanks does Woody. It's very close to Tom Hanks, which Jim Hanks normally voices Woody in anything that isn't an actual Toy Story movie, so it could be him, but Buzz Lightyear's sound, that's Tim Allen. It has to be. So that's kind of cool. And the actual gameplay, like, it's short, so I wasn't bored out of my mind. Each of the stages are fairly simple and short and actually enjoyable. So compared to the grind that was Cars 3, this one was welcome. But the first achievement I actually got is Clean as a Whistle, which is to successfully dodge all the pies in a single shooting gallery. So the shooting galleries are separated into 5 booths, and I believe there are like 8 stages in each booth. So when you're in a stage, your objective is to just shoot targets. You'll either have balls or, you know, little suction cup darts, whatever. You're just supposed to be shooting targets that are in the stage, but every once in a while, pies will be thrown at you. This is supposed to be a Kinect game. It's one of those better with Kinect, but you can just play it with a controller. And all you have to do is move your right stick to dodge the pies that are flying at you. It kind of got frustrating when I was nearing the end of this full completion, but really all you gain from it is not having pie on the screen and some extra points. I believe it's like an extra 300 points when you dodge a pie. So if you can dodge a pie, you can dodge a ball. But after that, I then unlocked Ticket to Ride, which is to get the train to come through town and rootin' tootin' shootin'. So this is the first stage in the Wild West booth. Each stage has its own stage-specific achievement that you have to do something random within the level to unlock the achievement. When I first started off, I tried just playing through the levels and then unlocking the achievements without looking at the actual achievement list, but at the later stages, the achievement became more and more obscure. Like, it wasn't really something that you were going to do without actually looking at the achievement list. But yeah, like I said, this is a relatively easy game. It's probably not, I was probably putting on some airs at the start. It's not a Telltale game. There is some effort required, but compared to a lot of the games that I've done in the challenge so far, it's the easiest. After that, I unlocked Chug-a-Lug, which is to knock down every mug in the back row throughout a single play session of Sarsaparilla Slide. Again, this is another stage within the Wild West world. All it is mugs of sarsaparilla moving on a track from right to left, and you just shoot every mug of sarsaparilla that passes on the rear track, and you'll unlock this achievement. That was one that I looked at the list to get. But after that, still in the Wild West world, I got Bats and Pies, which is to score 5,000 points from hitting bat targets during the Pie Dodge event of Minecart Spelunk. This one I got on accident. I remember looking at the list and seeing something to do with bats. I was just shooting solely bats on this stage, and just so happened the Pie event happened while I was shooting bats, and I unlocked this. So, that was kind of cool. But after that, I got Dynamite, which is to destroy 20 targets with the Dynamite power-up in a single shooting gallery. I can't remember which level I got this on. You guys will be seeing the footage of it. But if you're going for this, you want a level where there's a lot. You'll probably just... This will probably be the first power-up one you get, because the Dynamite literally destroys everything that's on screen. So you're more than likely going to just get this your first go-round of using the Dynamite power-up. But you obviously want to be... It's RNG, so you really have no control over it, but you hope to get the Dynamite while there's a bunch of targets on the screen. After that, I got Wrecking Crew, which is to let the town get destroyed, and please do feed the animals. I believe this is the actual last stage of the Wild West booth. So, at the end of each stage, there is a end of stage event. For this one, it's a meteor that's coming down into the town, and then a bunch of targets will pop up on the meteor, starting at 100, and then as you destroy the targets, the value increases. I was trying to hit all of the targets, but I failed to do so, and without hitting all of the targets, the meteor just crashes into the town. But you get an achievement for it. So next up, I got Pop and Tops. Pop the tops off of the left and right moons and launched in deep space. So we're into Buzz Lightyear's booth now. I don't even remember exactly what this is. This was just another one I unlocked on accident, just doing the stuff in the stage. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, there are two, like, planets with rings. Well, they're not planets because it says moons, but whatever. And there are these little poppers on the rings, and you just shoot them. Apparently, you do it for the ones on either side of the screen. You guys are seeing footage of it, so... But after that, I got There's Pie in Your Face. I had been trying to get this one as I've been playing. Like, I completed all of the Wild West and then some of the Buzz Lightyear booth. I think I understand now, but for the life of me, I couldn't figure out why I wasn't unlocking it. But anyway, There's Pie in Your Face is to complete all of the objectives in a shooting gallery without dodging a pie. So the objectives are, so if you pause the game, it's going to bring up this menu of things that you need to do in the level. But the thing is that they're grayed out. It doesn't tell you what you need to do until you actually do it. It's like an Easter egg. It's a secret. I'm guessing just for the first few stages I was trying to do this, I just wasn't completing all of the objectives. And apparently, whichever level I did it on, I did all of the objectives. So, I don't know. It's very easy to, like, get hit by the pie. You just don't do anything. It's just figuring out... I'm sure you could look up a guide of all of the objectives that are necessary for each stage, but I didn't. I didn't use a guide at all for this other than looking at the achievement name. So, because the description of the achievement name will typically tell you what you need to do. There's really not anything else you really need to look for, but this one, if you don't really want to stress about it, want to get it early on, if you look at a guide, I'm sure there's one out there that will tell you all of the objectives for each stage. So, but after that, I got Zap. Ring all of the lasers in flying discs in space. Another one that I can't even picture what stage this is, but you guys are seeing it now. But after that, I got Hack and Slash, which is to hit a multi-slash asteroid 12 times in Cosmic Slash and Defense. So there are 2 slash things. It's like Fruit Ninja, where stuff will fly off the screen and you move your reticle and it creates a slash. Again, this was supposed to be a Connect game, but what I learned in particular with the green asteroid that flies out on screen, to just move it left and right. I was kind of like moving the stick around, but I realized that if you just move it to the left, kind of pause, and then move back to the right, and just do that over and over, the reticle stays in the same spot. The issue I was having is it was just moving wildly, and I would lose track of it, and would end up not slashing anything. But if I paused a little bit for like a millisecond, I could keep track of the reticle and was able to get the 12 slashes for this. After that, I got Slow-Mo Joe, which is to destroy 20 targets while using the slow motion power-up in a shooting gallery. This one, out of all of the power-ups, is probably the most difficult to get the achievement for, because you specifically have to have something that has already like 20 targets on the screen for you to hit, because when it slows down, it's like actually slowed down, so you can't really tell when you've destroyed something. So you kind of want a bunch of targets on the screen so you can just kind of fire wildly, you know, kind of hope you hit 20 of them before the slow-mo ends. But again, nothing too troublesome. There are plenty of stages where you're going to have a boatload of targets on the screen at once. After that, I got Score Abduction, which is to ring a 5,000 point UFO in Space Rescue. The 5,000 point UFO is just a UFO that's flying around in the background, and if you throw a ring on it, you'll get this achievement. Nothing too hard. Obviously, you're going to want to go for the more higher point things so you can increase your score. So, again, one that'll probably just unlock on accident. After that, I got Bouquet Bonanza, which is get the big flower to appear in Balloon Pop. This is, so we moved on to Bo Peep's world, hence the balloon, because it's like a sheep. Another one I unlocked on accident. I don't even know what you have to do in this level to get the big flower to appear. I was just shooting targets and it happened. So, if you want a more detailed explanation, you can look up a guide, but I'm sure if I can get it on accident, you probably can too. But after that, I got Lead Air Balloon, which is to pop a hot air balloon in Pop Party. I do remember unlocking this, but there are just going to be hot air balloons that are in the stage. You just pop the big balloon. Next up, I got Laser Blaster, which is to destroy 20 targets with the laser power-up in a single shooting gallery. This one's probably, like, other than a dynamite, probably the easiest one. It's a laser. you just have to hope for, like I said, a bunch of targets on there. I also, when I first started playing this, I was pressing the trigger. I did not realize you can hold it. So a lot of my early things, I ended up missing like level specific achievements because I just wasn't able to do it with the way I was doing it. I was doing it as if I was like firing a gun, and with each pull of the trigger. Yeah, you can just hold the trigger button down and it'll just be constantly shooting stuff. And you don't get like penalties for accuracy or anything. But after that, I got Rescuing Machine, which is to rescue more than 25 sheep in flock of sheep to rescue. It's a terrible name for a level, but whatever. So there are 2 sheep rescue stages in Bo Peep's booth. You have the whatever that hook is that sheep herders use. You have that, and sheep are walking back and forth on the screen, and you just hit the trigger and it sends that hook out and you hook a sheep. So just rescue 25 of them in the flock of sheep to rescue stage and you'll pop the achievement. And following that, I unlocked Basket Case, which is to score 15,000 points by popping basket balloons in Hot Air Balloon Show. The instinctive action to do when the hot air balloons come up is to shoot the balloon. But if you wait for the balloon to come all the way on screen, you'll see the basket, and there's 5 targets on the basket. If you shoot all of those, I believe it starts out at 100, but the more you shoot, the higher that number goes up. So just keep shooting the targets that are on the balloon baskets, and eventually you will get 15,000 points. I then got Spread the Love, which is to destroy 20 targets with the Spread Shot power-up in a single shooting gallery. I cannot remember which stage I got this in. I think it was the final Bo Peep stage, because there's just a bunch of balloons on screen, and it's kind of easy, because obviously the Spread Shot shoots out a spread of shots. But there's so much stuff crowding the screen that you're guaranteed to hit multiple targets with like one pull of the trigger. So I then got Flower Power, which is to pop every pink flower balloon at least once in Flight of the Balloons. They're just gonna be these pink flower balloons that show up in the stage, and just as you're playing the stage, make sure you shoot all of them. When I did this, I focused solely on the pink flower balloons, just so I can ensure I didn't miss one. Because the crappy thing about this, when you're playing inside of a booth and not in free play, when you restart the entire booth, all the way back to the shooting minigame. So that freaking sucks. So I definitely wanted to make sure I got the level specific achievement inside that level. Of course, there were ones I missed, like I said, but I ended up earning those in free play. Twice I tried restarting the level and had to fucking do the whole thing all over again. And that's just ridiculous. I then got Cloudy Night, which is in Garden Grow, changed the level from day to night. Cannot remember what you have to do that, but you are seeing footage now. I then got Double Up, which to me is the most difficult of the power-up achievements to earn, which is to destroy 20 targets with the double points power-up in a single shooting gallery. I just eventually, like I said, got something that had plenty of them, plenty of targets on the screen, got the double power-up, and was able to hit 20 of them at once. Following that, I got Pretty Red Balloons, which is to pop 100 balloons in Balloon Blast. I believe this is actually the final stage, so I'm not sure what I earned the Spread Shot achievement on, but yeah, there's gonna be plenty of fucking balloons on screen for you to pop. Like, again, I popped this unknowingly, just playing the stage. After that, I got Streakin' Squeakin', which is to hit the 5,000 point mouse in ham and eggs. So I remember this popping, reading the description, and was like, I don't even know how I got the mouse to appear. I still don't know how to get the mouse to appear after replaying the stage a few times in free play. I was just hitting targets, and I believe I wasn't even aiming for the mouse. I just ended up hitting it as it was running around in the background. I've seen the mouse in the other times I've played it. I just don't know how he appears. But after that, I got Bow Ow, which is to hit the dog 3 times in bacon and eggs. So this level, I do know how to get the dog to appear. There is a mouse that will appear in the house, and if you shoot the mouse enough times as he appears, a cat's gonna show up, and then you shoot the mouse and a cat, and you keep doing that until a dog then appears. And then you just shoot the dog 3 times. They'll all pop up in sequence as you're playing through the stage. Just make sure you shoot the dog 3 times, because they do go back down. A lot of the targets will stay up until you shoot them. These will pop up and down until you actually shoot them. I then got Hyper Hydrases. Shoot the Hydra target 8 times in Dino-Rama. So in order to get the Hydra to appear, this is the one I actually know how to trigger it. There are plesiosaurs that will show up in the water, and I think it's like 4 or 5 that you shoot. Once you shoot those 5, the Hydra appears, and then you just shoot that. So just do that 5 times. You should have plenty of time. I think the time limit on each stage is random. So there's no timer at the top. The only time a timer shows up is when you have 30 seconds left and then the final 10 seconds of the stage. So I don't really know how much time you have in the level, but you should have plenty. So now we get to, I've started looking at the achievement descriptions, because there's no way I would have done this without doing so. So the next achievement I got is Eggless Victor, which is to not catch any eggs in It's an Egg Drop Spring. Given the task of what you need to do in a stage, who the fuck is just going to be like, well, I ain't going to do any of it? So yeah, I had to read the description to get that one, but yeah, it's self-explanatory. Just don't grab any eggs. After that, I got Pleased Plesiosaurs, knocked down 25 Plesiosaurs in the Jurassic Shore. Now this one, I believe there are only 25, because at least when I did it, only 25 showed up, and then we got to the final countdown, the final 10 seconds. So, in this level, just like the Hydra one, the Plesiosaurs are going to show up in the water. There will be 4 at a time, and there's like maybe a 5-second delay before the next set of 4 will start moving down at the bottom of the screen. So on the final one, as they pass through, it's like just before the final event. The final one will pop up, and then you shoot that one. I had to do this one twice, and this is the one time where I was like, I hit restart and had to redo the whole fucking thing. So either do this in the booth, or if you fail it here, you're gonna have to do it in free play, unless you want to replay the entire booth.
Those pterodactyls sure can fly. See if you can hit a bunch of them.
Just 30 seconds!
I then got Bird Feeder, which is to knock down 50 corn stalks in Farm Raising Fury. Self-explanatory. There are corn stalks in the level. Shoot 50 of them. We now move on to the final booth of the game, the Army Men booth. Again, I'm reading the descriptions at this point just to get the achievements easier. That way I'm not having to replay booths. So this achievement is the truck on the left. Shoot all of the trucks on the left side of the screen in shoot camp. Like, who the hell's doing that? Like, there's no way anybody's gonna earn that just on accident. You basically have to just shoot nothing but the trucks because they move so fast. So and then got doing the dishes, break 25 stick targets in plate break. I don't know why it specifies stick targets, because the only targets in the level are stick targets. I don't know why it doesn't just say break 25 targets, but whatever. Yeah, I mean, just playing this stage, you're gonna unlock that one. And after that, I got They're All Mine, hit 20 different balls in Block Breakout Assault. So I believe it's Block Breakout Assault, and then Night Breakout is the other one. It's like there will be these cannons shooting balls at you, and you just move a paddle back and forth and hit the balls back. So just move the paddle to in front of 20 different balls, and you'll unlock this one. I then got a Dish's Worst Enemy, shatter 100 plates in Skeet Shoot. I cannot remember this stage at all. Yeah, I'm drawing a blank on that. Yeah, you guys are seeing the footage now. Next up is Thunderous Blue, which is to shoot all of the blue helicopters in Wayward Whirlybirds of Wonderment. So this one I was kind of worried that I had failed my first go-round. I knew what I had to do, but I wasn't sure if I missed any blue helicopters. They're not really hard to miss, but with everything that's going on the screen, it is easy to kind of just get absorbed into it and just kind of run on autopilot. And when that happens, you can't really be sure if you've missed anything or not. So just, if you're going for this on your own, just make sure you're focusing. I mean, they're blue, and not really a hard color to miss. It's a bright background, so the color blue kind of stands out. But yeah, not too difficult, but if you get distracted, it could be easy to miss one. So this one is just strange. One and done. Only hit a ball once and then never again in Midnight Breakout. So I gotta commend him for, like, who the fuck is for the achievements that nobody's gonna do that. Who the hell? Like, maybe a child that gets distracted easily will earn that on accident, but your average gamer, obviously they want to earn the best score. Who the fuck is just hitting one ball and saying, nah, fuck that? But hey, you know, it's different. I then got 4 in a row, all in one go, break all the plane plates in a single pass in Moving Target Madness. This is another one I did actually earn without looking at the achievement description. I was just playing the game. Because I believe this one, Woody will sometimes speak during the level, telling you what you need to do to trigger an event within the level. And I believe he came on and say, hey, try and shoot all the planes in one go. And I did, and unlocked an achievement. This next one is probably the most frustrating achievement in the game. So I have, at this point, officially finished all the booths, and I've moved on to free play. The thing that sucks about free play is you only have, like, the 2 bonus mini games unlocked, and then 1 normal shooting gallery mini game. The bonus mini game for the farm booth is this thing where you're moving the basket and trying to catch eggs. For this specifically, you have to catch the big chicken. It's a hatched chicken falling off the roof, and you have to do it without missing any of them. What was frustrating to me is the slight twitch of the basket will send that fucking thing flying across the screen. The object will hit the basket, and you'll try to move it to make sure it goes into the basket, but instead it ends up just sending whatever that is flying. I had that happen at least 3 times. One on the final chicken I needed to catch with 3 seconds left. So, yeah, this one was probably the most I struggled to earn. Again, nothing too terribly hard. I only had to retry it 3 times. Yeah, definitely the most frustrating. This one, the achievement description is actually incorrect. The achievement is Penguin Pusher, which is to knock down 50 penguins in ice burger and fries. What it actually wants you to do is knock down 50 green penguins. Because I know damn well I knocked down 50 total penguins in this level my first try at it. But the achievement didn't pop. So what I ended up doing the second time is just aiming at the top where the penguins are spawning, and eventually I got 50. What I learned from looking this up to see if it was glitched or anything is someone said to do this because the achievement icon is a green penguin. So I think they just didn't put the full description in. Yeah, you have to shoot 50 green penguins. So if you're going for this yourself, just aim at the top of the mountain where the penguins are spawning, and you'll get it eventually. After that, I got Fly Me to the Moon, which is to earn 200,000 points during the UFO event in Rootin' Tootin' targeting. So this is when I first played through the Wild West stage. I didn't know that you can just hold the trigger, so I was just shooting with one pull. When I looked at the description for this before realizing that you can hold the trigger, I was like, damn, that's actually really hard. What happens during the UFO event is there are these animals that are getting abducted into the spaceship, and it starts off, the first animal has 100 points, the second animal has 200, it moves up all the way to 5,000, so you're just shooting those targets as it moves up, and eventually it'll get to 5,000. Of course, you are running out of time. You do have to, like, be on your game and make sure you're not missing the target too much, but eventually, once the 5,000 shows up, you pretty much just focus on that. If you've got at least 10 seconds left, you can pretty much guarantee if you're holding the trigger, you're going to get your 200,000 points just focusing on the 5,000. Especially if you were hitting the other targets as they came up. After that, I got High Moon, which is complete the Corral 3 Buffalo objective as the Undertaker's clock reads noon in Western Showdown. When I originally read this, I thought you had to change the stage's time of day to daytime, but you don't. The clock just has to read 12 o'clock, which isn't noon. That at nighttime, that would be midnight, but, you know, whatever. So, as long as you get the clock to midnight and you've triggered the 2 buffalo, I believe there's a target right to the left of the clock tower. You shoot that once, a buffalo will pop up, you shoot that one, and then 2 buffalo will pop up. What I ended up doing is shooting the target and then shooting the other buffalo and then focusing on the clock, because once those 2 buffalo are there, you get the clock to midnight and then you shoot the other 2 buffalo and you'll unlock this achievement. I then got Mine Alley, which is to throw 5 balls into the mine shaft in Creaky Canyon Alley Ball Challenge. The skee ball courses are probably my least favorite because controlling the angle of the ball is real finicky. You have to be extremely precise on where you want the ball to go, but once you figure out the correct position, you can just basically hold RT and it'll, well, it's more like tap RT, because holding it doesn't work here because there is a delay after you throw a ball. So just once you find the correct position to get it to go into the mine shaft, just hold it there and then tap RT and you'll get 5 into the mine shaft. I then got Accuracy, which is to throw 20 balls in the distant holes in a Wild West Alley Ball Challenge. So again, another skee ball course. I did this basically with the starting position of the ball and just throwing it into the middle hole at where it's aimed at the beginning of the stage. Just do that 20 times.
Seconds left.
After that, I got Zerg Rush, which is to shoot Zerg 30 times and launched in space. So, I missed this one my first go-around through the Buzz Lightyear world, and after doing that, and then going back through reading descriptions for achievements I missed, I did not remember ever seeing Zerg. So, I was like, I don't know how to trigger him. So I was just playing through the level, shooting targets, and got Zerg to show up in the middle planet. You're seeing on screen exactly what you needed to do there. I can't remember. But, yeah, his face will show up, and you just shoot his face 30 times. This next one takes some serious RNG to get. It's Master Terraformer. Terraform all terrain at the same time using the TNT power-up in Terraformal event. Again, not hard, but it does take some luck to make sure you get a TNT for this. So, the Terraformal event, there are a series of mountains, and there's a target on each of them. When you shoot the target once, 2 more will pop up, and if you shoot those 2 targets, a tree comes out. You're terraforming the planet. So what you have to do is shoot each target once to get those 2 targets to pop up on each mountain. Then what you have to do is wait for the TNT power-up to come across screen. When you shoot that, it blows up all those targets and terraforms the entire planet in one go. So it took me a few restarts to get this, but it wasn't too frustrating. Like, it didn't take me a long time before a TNT finally showed up. And if you wait the entire allotted time, you'll get 2 power-ups. So even if you don't get the TNT on the first power-up that shows up, you can continue waiting in the level. And if you don't get it by the second power-up that comes across screen, then you can restart. So not too bad, that one, but definitely some RNG involved. Next up is Bombs Away. Do not hit any bombs in planetary / in defense. So you can cheese this one. You can literally start this stage and just sit there and not slash anything. This is one of the Fruit Ninja stages. The game is already easy. I thought, I'm not going to just not do anything unless the game wants me to, like that breakout at night or whatever that was. So I actually made an attempt to slash stuff that came on screen, but you just have to be careful because especially once you get down to like the final 10 seconds, they start really throwing a bunch of shit at you, and they get cheeky and hide the bomb behind the other things. I got it to where, again, there were only a few seconds left on the clock, and accidentally slashed a bomb that was hidden behind another popper asteroid, so I had to end up restarting. But yeah, just pay attention, make, you know, at least a somewhat effort to have your strikes be positioned where you want them to be and not just going around wildly and doing whatever. After that, I got Crack Shot, which is another heavy RNG one. Take out the meteor and the UFO with a single rocket in Invasion of the Space Raiders. So this one took me a few restarts as well. I believe the UFO, you may have to destroy a certain number of asteroids to get it to show up, but I think it might just be something that is already in the level. You don't have to do anything to get it to appear. The asteroid, on the other hand, there are 4 poppers at the bottom of the screen. You have to pop each of those and then the asteroid appears. What I kept having happen is the asteroid and UFO would be on the same side of the screen, but the thing is the UFO moves faster than the asteroid, so there was never a good opportunity for me to shoot it that way. What I wanted to happen was them coming from opposite sides and then meeting in the middle. Again, some RNG required for positioning, but nothing that took too long of a time. This next one I thought was some bullshit until I learned exactly how the sheep operate. It's my hero and never miss hooking a sheep and rescuing fields of sheep. So when I was trying this, like, I kept missing the hook. The sheep kept jumping right as I went to hook them. And I was like, what the fuck is this bullshit? I thought it was random until I learned that they're jumping over the river that's in the stage. So once I figured that out and was like, okay, well, I'll just wait for them to get past the river or do it before they reach it. Again, you could probably just like hook one sheep and then just sit there the rest of the time. You know, I love achievements. I love easy achievements, but I'm not gonna do that for a game that's already a pretty easy completion. So I at least hooked a few sheep. It wasn't a great score that I ended up with, but I made some effort. After that, I got Quick Spotlight, which is turn on all of the spotlights in Paratrooper Scooper in less than 5 seconds. So what I thought this was when I originally read this achievement description was you had to do it just in 5 seconds. What it means is to do it within 5 seconds of starting the stage. So right when the stage starts, just immediately aim for the spotlights. Just swing, you know, your reticle. And once you've knocked down, I believe there's 4 of them. Once you've knocked down all 4 of the spotlights, as long as you did it within 5 seconds, you'll get the achievement. If you don't, you know, you have to do it right at the start anyway, so it ain't much to restart. And this next one I thought about doing with Nathan, but I didn't want to wait until Saturday or Sunday when I went over there. I wanted to just get it done now, so I just turned on another controller, let it idle, and got the Partner Up achievement for playing through any booth with a friend in adventure mode. Unfortunately, you have to play through the entire booth. I just did the Wild West one and played through the whole thing by myself, just with the other controller. I did have the controller turn off on me in the middle of one of the stages. I don't know if it would void it if I let the controller remain off. I did turn it back on before the stage ended and made sure the player was back in the stage. So be wary of that if you're going for it. I don't know if that would have any effect, I just wouldn't want to chance it and have to play through an entire booth again.
Oh, way to play, everyone. Hey!
Oh my!
Wow, everyone's a winner.
Great!
Thanks for playing, partners.
Bye now.
And finally, for the final achievement, I got earning credit, which is to watch the credits to completion. I obviously saved this one for last. I will commend the developers of this game. I believe it's Microprose, which is a studio I'd never heard of. This is a pretty fun, I could see it being a really fun party game. It was enjoyable. Like I said, the stages were short, so it wasn't a slog to get through like Cars 3 was. So it was a pretty fun full completion. So I actually wanted to save the credits one for last to give credit to the developers. They made a pretty alright little party game there.
Does this make me look fat?
Here's a list of all the toys who helped us put this game together for you. Come on, give them a hand.
And yep, that's the full completion of Toy Story Mania. Like I said, one of the more easy full completions, especially within the Disney-Pixar challenge. But yeah, it is an enjoyable game. It is backwards compatible, so you can play this on the Xbox One. Looking at TrueAchievements.com, I did see people were saying there were issues playing it on the Series X. I did not test that, so I don't know if that's true. But yeah, if you want to go for this full completion, I highly recommend it. It's not too long. If I didn't have a job, I could have got it in one day. But it only took me about 3 hours otherwise. So next up, we will be playing Cars Manor National. There are only 2 games left in the Disney-Pixar Games Challenge. So if you want to see that when it comes out, or you just want to see me get a Pixar tattoo, consider subscribing. If you've played Toy Story Mania, or any of the games we've played thus far in the Disney-Pixar Games Challenge, leave them in the comments down below. But other than that, leave a like and check back next time for whatever I do. Bye-bye.